why don't we jump right in and let everybody know what is going on in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So the Virginia governor's race, it's Abigail Spanberger versus Winsome Earl Sears. That's right. The Virginia governor's race pits former Representative Abigail Spanberger, a centrist Democrat with a strong electoral record, against Winsome Earl Sears, the state's Republican lieutenant governor. The state's off-year governor races are often closely watched, and this year's
minor
election...
character in To Kill a Mockingbird.
What's that?
And minor character in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah. The state's off-year governor races are often closely watched, and this year's election may deliver some opposition to President Trump, particularly in suburbs of Washington where the president's layoffs of federal workers have hit home. Now, granted, most of those workers tend to vote Democrat anyway, but there might be a spike in turnout for this reason. Since they got nothing else to do, they're not working. Ms. Earl Sears has struggled to gain fundraising traction and has consistently trailed in the polls, giving Democrats a chance to regain the governor's seat. The current governor, Glenn Youngkin, a Republican, cannot run again, as the state prohibits governors from serving consecutive terms. That's right.
Oh, really? Even two?
One term. Yeah. So you can't serve two in a row as governor of Virginia. A woman has never been elected as governor in Virginia, so that barrier will be broken, whoever wins. Well, that's terrific news. That's tremendous. I mean, it's already a great night. You guys all must be so excited about that. You know, it's a shame. If only Hillary Clinton had just run for the Virginia governor, she could have, broken her glass ceiling and never run for president and never ushered in this dystopian world that we live in now.
It's like no matter who loses, the people win tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Ms. Spanberger, 46, is a former congresswoman and one-time CIA operative with a history of winning tough races. Before entering politics, she investigated international terrorism. So she's basically like the woman from Homeland. Who's the actor who plays what's her name? Claire Danes? Yeah.
Claire Danes, that's right.
Basically Claire Danes against Winsome Earl Sears. A moderate known for bucking party leadership, she rose to Congress by capturing a conservative Central Virginia district in 2018 and then held the seat in two competitive re-election races. She gave up her House seat to run for governor. Miss Earl Sears, the lieutenant governor, is a socially conservative Marine veteran. While she said her party should move on from Trump before the Republican primaries in 2024, she is now a staunch supporter of the president, a strong opponent of same-sex marriage. Wow, really sticking to her guns as a social conservative, and supporter of gun rights. Ms. Earl Sears has run previous unsuccessful races for House and Senate seats. Mr. Trump has called her an excellent candidate for governor. Now, Spanberger, yes, she is a former CIA operative. She is as establishment as it gets. And even in the 11th hour of this campaign, when asked about Zoran Mamdani, she thought it necessary to throw as much shade as possible. So here's Ken Klippenstein. Abigail Spanberger takes a swipe at Mamdani, saying maybe he should be a Democrat and that his campaign promises are dishonest. Then maybe, she said, he should be a Democrat, acknowledging when pressed that Mamdani is in fact the Democratic nominee. Yeah, that's the thing. He is a Democrat. Spanberger said that for all the talk, including from within the Democratic Socialists of America itself, about the DSA's growing power, she doesn't see democratic socialism on the rise. She argues there's a level of dishonesty in some of the big promises Mamdani is making that she worries could hurt the Democrats with voters long term, saying the reason she doesn't have a Mamdani-style proposal for government-run grocery stores is because I could never pass it. So that gives you an idea of who she is. She is pretty awful. And, Virginia is really the last state where a Democrat like Abigail Spanberger would be viable because, as was mentioned in the Times article, a lot of the Democrats' support in Virginia now comes from those northern suburbs. So they're basically people who work in D.C., basically career PMC politicos who tend to vote Democrat, who now really populate those northern D.C. suburbs like Fairfax County, Loudoun County, places like that. And so Spanberger is really cut from that cloth. And so if there is one state where someone like Spanberger would still be viable, it is Virginia. If you look at a race like New Jersey, it's considerably closer. Cheryl is still favored to win. But Mikey Sherrill is the same kind of Democrat as Spanberger, and she's having a significantly tougher time because New Jersey is not Virginia. So Virginia is really the last place for this breed of like deep state operative shit lib is going to be viable. And that's why she is pretty heavily favored. And the interesting thing about tonight in Virginia is that it was Virginia 2021. That governor's race really marked the beginning of the anti-woke backlash. That was the Loudoun County year where there was that uprising of parents, who were basically voting Republican in protest of school choice and school curriculum and parents' rights. And you had a very entrenched establishment Democrat there, Terry McAuliffe, long time Clinton bagman and ally. I mean, he is as, entrenched Virginia Democrat power machine as it gets. And he lost to Glenn Youngkin, who was a fairly obscure candidate at the time, even as Virginia had gone blue in so many presidential cycles leading up to that. And so that really kind of shocked the country at the time. And that was really the harbinger of things to come when it came to this whole anti-woke backlash. Well, 4 years out from that, it looks like tonight is going to be the beginning of the anti-woke backlash in Virginia as well. That is what the numbers seem to predict. We do have some results here. So we're going to go to the board. Let's take a look right now. I'm going to go to the NBC screen because they have exit polls too. So that'll be kind of fun. We'll get to chew on some of that as well as the results. All right. So let's take a look. Let's make sure we got everything on the screen here. Beautiful. All right. So there we go. Just 2% in.
Yeah.
But Spanberger up by a little less than 10. And if you can see here, most of the counties that have come in are the fairly red rural counties. Where Spanberger is going to do the best is up here in the north. Loudoun County. Where's Fairfax? Fairfax is somewhere up here. I can't find it on the map right now, but it's somewhere up there. Cool Blue will find it for me. Arlington. These are the DC suburbs. These are going to be where the Democrats run up the margins. And so far, she is up by about 10. The exit polls look fairly strong for Spanberger. She's winning 45% of the male vote, according to the exit polls, which is pretty high for a Democrat, especially a Democrat woman, especially a filthy woman, winning 45% of the vote. Females, 61-37. Well, hey, she's the CIA girl boss, right? How could they not vote for her, right? She's winning 45% of the white vote, 90% of the black vote, 64% of the Hispanic vote, and 61% of the Asian vote. So if you look at the Asian vote, this was the big surprise of 2021. The Asians turned out big for Youngkin that year because of the school choice and the school selection. This year seems to be the opposite. This seems to have reverted to the norm where the Asians vote overwhelmingly Democrat.
If there is one race where you can say with a fair amount of certainty that culture decided the race, it was the Virginia governor's race.
Yes.
Back when he still did actual reporting, Matt Taibbi did a great series on Loudoun County. And it was just absolute culture war freakishness coming from the worst elements of that social justice, so-called social justice left, and spending millions of dollars on consultants to tell you, you have to have kids start ratting each other out for being racist. Just absolutely batshit insane. But I think what you're seeing now is drunk with power. The Trumpists are the freaks now. They're the freaks. Look,
yes.
she's running on opposition to gay marriage, and at the same exact time, look, they might not admit it openly because they don't want to alienate certain parts of their base. The Democrats have definitely been chastened. You don't hear them talking that kind of shit now about how we have to install anti-racist commissars in the public schools. You're not hearing that anymore. They backed off on that. And that's really all they have to do, because the other side at this point is every bit as freakish as they ever were.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what power does to you. I mean, we've talked a lot about how MAGA has just gone completely mask off since taking power, to the point where now you have people like painting themselves in blackface the night before food stamps expire and thinking that that's going to look good. Like you're going
Right.
to win elections with that. You're going to be
Fucking
trusted with power by
Boebert
most people with that shit. Yeah.
dressed up in Halloween
Yeah.
as a Mexican and went out with her husband as an ICE agent.
Her boyfriend,
or her
her boy
boyfriend
toy.
as an ICE agent.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you really think that is a good look to normal people?
Right.
It's not.
That
It's not.
is every bit as freakish as anything the woke brigades ever came up with to normal people.
A few moments later.
Now, there is another interesting thing here. So the attorney general's race here, you could see Jason Miyares leading the Democrat Jay Jones. The Democrat Jay Jones got in a lot of trouble, and he should have dropped out because there were text messages where he joked about how he wanted to see, his opponent's children die. And that is
right.
We put together a lot tonight, so I didn't have time to really dig into that. But I said at the time he should have withdrawn because,
Of
look,
course.
I'm sorry. Look, if you're running for office and that was a stupid thing you said a few years ago, okay, that's bad, but I wouldn't necessarily clutch my pearls and compel you to drop out. But you are running for attorney general. You are seeking prosecutorial power over people. Your job as attorney general is to basically ruin people's lives. And so, given that you're seeking the power to imprison people, I do think those kinds of things are disqualifying, and he should have withdrawn. And as you can see, it looks like so far you have the makings of a split decision. Obviously, we're going to have to keep on this. The results are still very, very early, only 6% in, so we will have to, excuse me, monitor those results as they come in and keep you guys updated.
A few moments later.
All right, let's see if Cool Blue has his mic set up. Cool Blue, can you hear me?
Hi, I don't have a mic, but can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Yeah, that's great.
I hear
man.
you fine.
You sound
great.
I
had to turn power off my phone and power back on.
All right. Well, that is no problem, sir. In fact, you come in at a very, very good time because I was ready to do this ourselves. We were ready to do this ourselves at the Due Dissidence Decision Desk, but the New York Times beat us to it by literally 10 seconds. Abigail Spanberger projected winner of the Virginia governor's race. She is dominating. There's no other way to put that. She's expected to come in at about 57% of the vote, according to this analysis here. As you can see here, up by 10. The big basket of votes is not even half in yet. Fairfax County, which is the big D.C. suburb, dominating 74 to 26, 124,000 votes to 42,000. So she's going to more than double that margin at the end of the day because only 38% of votes are in. Same thing, Alexandria, 23,000 votes to 48.76, 83 to 17, only 46% of votes in. And as you can see, the red counties are significantly smaller, and they are not almost all in, but a significant portion of them are in. Whereas you can see, even in a city like Richmond, Abigail Spanberger, 8,600 to 1,600, only 12% of votes in. So she's going to get tons more votes from both the suburbs and the more Democrat-friendly cities like Richmond, down here, Suffolk, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, which is actually a pretty close split as of now. So that's not as blue as I thought it might be. But yeah, that is domination. So she has won big. And Cool Blue, what was Kamala's margin in Virginia in 2024? I don't think it was 10 points. I think it was closer than people thought.
From what I remember, it was 5.78 percentage points. In presidential elections, Virginia runs about 5 to 7 points more Democratic compared to how the country votes.
Virginia runs 5 to 7 points. It's more Democratic than how the country votes. Okay, and you're saying Kamala won that by 5 points. Well, that would make sense because Trump won the overall popular vote by, I think, 2, right? Like 1.5 to 2.
1.47, and she won Virginia by 5.78 is what I was
All
saying.
right. Even the attorney general who wants to murder his opponent's kids is not doing that bad for a guy who said
No,
that on a
no.
text change. Doing
Yeah,
pretty
he's,
good.
he's running neck and neck.
He's running neck and neck.
If I were those kids, I'd hide out for the next
You know
few
you're in
years.
bad shape as a political party
Yeah.
when you lose to the guy who says he wants to kill his opponent's kids. And that is a tough loss.
That's rough.
Rough. And to be clear, we don't know he's going to lose. This says that New York Times forecast Jones has more outstanding votes than Miaris is and on track to win 53%. So as you can see, he's polling significantly behind Spanberger, but as of now, still enough to win. So big picture, folks, the Democrats are expected to win all 3 of these races, and they really have to. Like if a Democrat loses any one of these races, it would be quite terrible. It would be quite terrible. So they have to win all 3 of these. The margins are, of course, important in sort of, taking the temperature of the country. But so far, they have won in the bag.
Please clap.